Good morning, Pansies. It's Tuesday. I'm not going to be more on top of things this week, just in case you were thinking that just because I said that last week it was actually going to happen. It will not. I'm going to be just as totally dysfunctional as I normally am, perhaps more so. Let me think. No, I even have to apologize for being disheveled because first of all, I thought you looked fine anyway, but also I show up looking like this every week in my pajamas. So, yeah, it's fine. I think there are several cats in this picture, but you can't see any of them except that sort of black lump there is Henry. But he's pretty passed out, so I don't think you're going to be really seeing much about him. Eric is right here next to me, but he also is asleep. So you're probably not going to be seeing him either. Let me think. What do I have to talk about this week? I did my first actual sort of gardening thing today. I did some weeding today, not very much, but a little bit. There are two herb beds in the back that you guys see a lot, but you usually see them in close-up rather than the whole thing. But normally when you see the big wide shots of the herb beds, that's what I'm talking about. There are two of them. They're kind of one in front of the other from the place that I normally shoot them. We call them the Irving beds because once I was trying to make a layout, like a garden plan sort of thing, using a software that required you to put in a name for the beds. And I asked my mom, what should we call these? And she said, Irving, and it stuck. So they're both called the Irving beds, Irving 1 and Irving 2. Where was I going with this? Oh, one of them was the one that I was working in today because it's the Irving 1 bed is the one that has the Rosina calendula and some of the rosemary, the barbecue rosemary, and the oregano, things like that. Irving 2 has all the yarrow and the elephant garlic and the ARP rosemary. And so the Irving 1 bed is not too bad as far as weeds go because the oregano has spread out so much in the last 2 years, and it is taking up most of the sort of carpet space, so to speak, in that bed. In the Irving 2 bed, the yarrow, during the summer, spreads out like that, like in the spring and summer, but in the winter it dies back, so there's nothing to keep the grass down. And so basically it is just, it's 3-foot high grass, the whole thing. So I went and cleared a big space out of it today, but there's so much still left to do. And the problem with weeding like this around here is that you have to do it really early in the year because I've probably mentioned this before, because our soil here is clay, and once you get past very early spring, the ground begins to dry out, and then it seizes up, and you can't pull any weeds out. You can't even dig them out. It's just cement. Even if you try to water it really heavily, it doesn't really work. So you have to do all of your major weeding early in the year so that you can get the weeds actually out of the ground instead of just pulling them off at soil level. So I did a section of weeding today, but there's still very, very, very much left to do. It's probably a good thing that we're not planning to do a huge amount of gardening this year. But one of my hopes for gardening this year is to plant some kind of a ground cover herb of some sort, like thyme or Roman chamomile or something, in that bed to help keep some of the grass down so I don't have to go through this again next year. Yeah, so I guess that was apparently a thing I wanted to tell you about today. I don't know. Yeah, oh, there's Henry moving around. I think he gets too hot here, and then he goes and sits by the door. He doesn't want to go out. He just wants to lay down over there. I think it's because the there's no rug or anything over behind the door. He sits like right behind the door where you can't really open the door, and then has a nap there until he gets cooled off, and then he comes back up on the bed. Yeah, so again, that was very exciting. So glad I shared that with you. You must be very happy too. So yeah, I guess that's good. I love you all a lot, and I guess I will see you next week when it will be time for me to give you another exciting installment of Cats and Gardens. Don't forget to be awesome.